Hello, Facebook Live. How are you today? Melanie Ann Layer coming to you here live on my business page. If this is the first time that you have ever caught me live in your whole life, please let me know that you're a first-time viewer. I would love to welcome you to my Facebook Live world. If you tend to watch me quite a little bit, then please say hi. And if you're watching the replay, you can hashtag Unity, and then I'll know that you caught me on the replay. So, I sent out an email. A lot of you that are going to be joining here at first are those who are on the information email list for all things Unity for Ukraine. So I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on that email list. And if you don't have the information to remain on that email list, I'm going to make another post when I'm done this live, reiterating again how you can join that list for more information. I'm going to ask, as you're watching this, that you please share, so that more people can be in the loop of what's happening and to find out how they can help and support. So let me just say hello to the people that are here. Vanessa, thank you for being here. Joanne, Helena, Natalie, hello. Vanessa, Elaine, Mary, Jenny, Krista, Barbara, Show, first time Show. Thank you for being here. Hello, Carrie, Jenny, Strigaru, hello. Theo, thank you. Nicolina, Lori, thank you for being here. So, if you do share, please let me know that you have shared. It always helps so much when you do, and then I can thank you for that also. Okay, we have some big information. So, first things first, I am so grateful and so touched to say that we have crossed $250,000 in donations, which brings us to $250,000 in donations. And this would not be possible without all the donations, big and small. We have had people give 4-figure contributions, 5-figure contributions, and I've been celebrating those on my Instagram, on my Melanie Ann Layer Instagram. If you're following us on Instagram to see how all the things are happening, we've also, oh, Shoshana, I love that name. We have been posting updates in the stories if you want to stay connected to where we're at. It's quite extraordinary. Natalia, thank you for being here. Jenny, thank you for sharing. Cynthia, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Hi, Diana. Hi, Sophie. Thank you for sharing. Joanne, Loana, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Charlotte, thank you so much. Thank you, Lucy, for sharing. Yes, Theo, it's so amazing. So I want to thank everyone that donated, big and small, because the truth is we got here because of all the donations. All the donations have created this. So I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. This is a big milestone, and it's really incredible that we've all come together to do this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you have not donated yet and you would like to, I'm going to give you a little bit more information about what happens when you donate anything over $111. So if my team wouldn't mind just posting the link to donate, I'm going to pin it here. What I've decided to do to help even more and to make it more compelling even more to donate is that there's going to be a live event where myself and the women who donate 5 figures are coming in to create a beautiful event talking about matters of the mind, the heart, how to really lead ourselves, like a life coaching event about love, integrity, unity, togetherness. So it's going to be an incredible event, and anyone who donates over $111 gets to participate for free. It's going to be an extraordinary program only for the people who donate. So I'm just going to pin this here. Pin comment. Only for those who donate over $111. So if you've already donated some and you'd like to add more in order to get to that 111, that's perfect. If you have not donated yet and you'd like to do that, just make sure to keep a screenshot of your donation because you are going to need it in order to access the course. The idea here is that the more of us come together, the more we can do. Even if your donation is $5, Alpha Femme matches everything up into $1 million. So if you give $2, it turns into $4. And if 10 people do that, we've got $400. The idea is that for $40. But the idea is that we are consistently growing more and more and more every day. You give $5, it turns into 10, and with a lot of people, that grows. You give $10, it turns into 20. With a lot of people, that grows. We have women who've gifted over $1,000, $3,500, $5,000, $10,000, and those obviously help with the big leaps. But saying, I can't give because I can't give big, doesn't help us move. Any donation is extraordinary, and we are so beyond grateful for all the help and support that we are receiving. Now, I don't want to give too much information on when this event is going to happen for a few different reasons, and this is what I want to share with you. I don't want people to give only to receive this event. And so the idea is not to, if I wanted to do that, I would just do a program where a part of the proceeds or all the proceeds go here. The idea is that this is still a donation from your heart, but at a certain amount, you get to access this training. It's not about giving only to receive the training. It's just an incentive, right? And the date of when it's going to happen is not certain yet because what's happening in the world is not over. And so what we're doing is continuing to talk about this and keeping the conversation relevant for people to keep in touch. And when it feels the right time to put this event together, myself and the women who have donated and contributed are going to put this event together. So it will be in the upcoming weeks, maximum months, but the idea here is to continue to talk about this and to not have it go away. And a lot of things that we see an uproar about on the internet, it's like it's mainstream for a little while and then it stops being cool. We stop talking about it. This is still really happening. So I'm not wanting to put all the focus on the beginning to just do this one thing and then everybody lets it go. There's continued developments about this that I think are really important to talk about. And in order for us to keep this channel open, it's important to keep certain things open-ended. So some of the things that are going to remain open-ended for the time being are the date that this event is occurring, and exact details on who all the speakers are and what all the information is going to be inside of it. But what you do know is that it's an Alpha Femme-led course. For those of you who know what that means, you know that there's a standard there that you can depend on. And with bringing all other women with me, it's going to be an extraordinary experience. So if you do donate 111, please let me know. And also, please keep your receipt because you're going to need it. Very important. Now, there are new developments, and I feel it's really important to talk about these. For those of you who've been in my world for a long time, like causes that are very close to my heart. One of the causes is very close to my heart is the Black Lives Matter movement. We did a Queens of the Internet around this in 2020, and it is very important part of the Alpha Femme brand. And there's a lot of women of color and Black women in the Alpha Femme community who have shared with me that there's something happening, and I've brought my attention to it, and we've found quite a few things I want to share with you because I think it is important to talk about these things. My intention here, again, things that are done from love are done differently. So I want to tell you first why I want to present this information to you. I think we can all relate to the fact that if we are suffering about something and no one is noticing, no one is talking about it, no one is coming to help, no one is doing anything about it, it is a very difficult life situation. And you may have gone through this in your life through all kinds of different things. Things about, trauma in regards to your own life, your body, your living situation. Like there are so many traumatic events, and it feels like if no one is talking about what's happening, or if no one's even paying attention, it's a very lonely life experience. And something's been brought to my attention that honestly, when I started reading the articles, I'm sure it is of great service to talk about this. The intention of talking about this is that we must. We must, because it's in times like this that it would be easy to just focus on one thing and not talk about all the things. But in difficult lifetimes like now, it's a ripple effect a lot of the times. What we're struggling with as a world starts to shine up to the surface. What we're struggling with as a world comes up to look at. And so I want to share something with you that's very important, because I want you to be able to hold this in your energy also, hold this in your prayers also, and we're going to be adding a new fund to our resources so that you can also give in funds if you desire. I'm going to read this first article from Brookings. There are many reports of Black people being refused at border crossings. in favor of white Ukrainians, leaving them stuck at borders for days in brutal conditions. Ukraine stated they would first allow women and children on trains and transport out of the country to flee the Russian invasion. However, it seems they meant Ukrainian and European women and children. Videos show black people being pushed off trains and black drivers being reprimanded and stalled by Ukrainians as they try to flee. There are even reports of animals being allowed on trains before Africans. Kevin's helping me pull up another one. This one is from the Independent. Scores of African refugees in Ukraine are being blocked from fleeing to safety as Russian attacks continue to devastate the country. Those trying to make border crossings have told the Independent. Black people living in the region say they have been left to languish, with some taking to Twitter in recent days to share accounts of abandonment. Speaking to the Independent, Asarumen, a father of 3, said he, his family members, and other refugees were told to disembark a bus about to cross the border on Saturday and told no blacks. Despite challenging the driver and military officers, they were ejected from the vehicle. Since then, I've been trying to get myself together and focus as normal, but it's been difficult, he said. Christian, 30, received a video call from his friend Winston from the Medica border crossing, where he claimed to have seen Ukrainian military personnel preventing hundreds of African and other international citizens from going to Poland. 24 Jamaican students who yesterday arrived in Lviv from, I'm not good at pronouncing these words, Kharkiv by train, are now being forced to walk 20 kilometers to Poland. The country's foreign affairs minister, Kamina Smith, said they were blocked from boarding the bus that was carrying the students to Poland. These are matters of the world. So the fund that we've put together with the Red Cross is helping people on the ground floor. They are in Ukraine helping the people. However, people are trying to exit the Ukraine, and people of color and black people are having a very difficult time at the borders. We've got to also keep in our prayers, in our hearts, and not avoid this conversation, because this is a world issue, and Unity for Ukraine is such a beautiful movement, but it's about the people. What we said is we come together for the people. We come together for the world. So I'm going to share with you on my Facebook page and then in my Instagram stories the fund that was put together for this. Kevin, do you mind pulling up the fund? Because I would love to read what it says. We want to just remind ourselves that this is people and the world. People and the world. And to really remember that this is not just something that's happening that's going to just go away. Like, we're learning so much about where we are as a world right now. We're learning so much about how people are treated in the world right now, and it's important to look at it. But it's so easy to just get furious and angry and start being mad without doing anything about it. And what I would really love is for us to actually come together and do something, whether it is spreading the word and actually speaking of it from a place of, we stand with people of color, with black people, we stand for the people of Ukraine. Like, it's time for our world to heal. And for that, time, resources, communication, networking, to really make things better is where I really believe things are going to change. I believe that this must be one of the most difficult conversations for women of color and black women and men who are hearing of this movement for Ukraine, while also hearing that their people are not being allowed across the border. Like, how can they just be for Ukraine when Ukraine is not for them? It's very difficult. It creates more separation. So we want to create unity for all of it. Yes, unity for Ukraine. We continue to support all the people who are grounded in Ukraine right now, and through the Red Cross and the other sources that we've offered, it's extraordinary to be able to bring support to the people on the ground. There are extraordinary companies that are wanting to help, extraordinary organizations helping people leave the country, extraordinary resources helping people leave, but we're having issues at the borders because our world hasn't quite yet changed the way it can. So I'm going to read you the fund. It's called Support Black People Fleeing Ukraine. It all started with a tweet. Before we knew it, 3 Black women had come together to raise money to rescue Black lives, especially students who were being discriminated against while trying to flee a war-torn Ukraine. The past several days of fundraising, liaising with students and volunteers, dispersing funds, and one of us trying to get out of Ukraine herself have been hectic, frustrating, stressful, but also energizing to see the way our community came together to support and protect each other when the rest of the world refuses to. Through it all, we've worked hard to ensure that every pence we raised is accounted for and sent as quickly as possible to Black people in need that we have verified. In order to scale what we are doing, we knew we'd have to bring on more people, but that also meant more chances for issues to arise. Therefore, we've decided, for the sake of further transparency, accountability, and due diligence, to make what we're doing even more official. And so we would like to formally announce our new organization, Black Women for Black Lives, or BW4BL for short. So you will have an opportunity, and I'm going to be sharing this link as well, to follow this movement, to see how you can help, either through this fund or the attached funds. Wherever your heart is led to support. Whichever fund, whichever place, whatever you want to shine light on, whatever you want to communicate about, whatever you want to talk about, let that be. But if we come together as a world to support where the support is needed, to bring love, compassion, resources, energy, networking, communications, conversations, we're going to get somewhere. It's an important time now to come together in unity, and it is so easy in times like this to separate, to get mad, to fight each other. This is the main narrative. It's the way it's always been. So how can we do better than before? How can this be different than before? How can this be better than before? We come together. So Alpha Femme is still matching through the Red Cross all donations up to $1 million. We have crossed over 250,000 in donations and matching already, which is truly extraordinary. And we're continuing to bring forward any resources the world needs right now in alignment with this movement. And this is why I said people of color and Black people, because it is spanned across the Asian people, Arab people. Like, this is not just, I'm so sad to have this conversation. Honestly, it brings I'm feeling myself get very heated, but I would love to see during my time on this planet a world where people have the same treatment across the globe. Like, I would pray for this. I would love to see this. It really profoundly disturbs me that we are not there yet. And I would love an expedited journey to this. This is our world. So can we come together now? It's so important. And during an existing crisis, for us to see this rise to the top again, it's like we cannot push this aside. This is so important. It was important in 2020, in 2021, it's important in 2022. It will never stop being important. So let's talk about it. Let's share about it. Let's bring awareness about it so that we can change things. It's historically been through anger, and it's historically been through fighting, and it's historically been through war. I'd love to see it change differently, and I believe that things done from a place of love are done differently. So I encourage us as a world to do our part, as I said, through time, like just taking the time to be here and watch this. Just doing research on your own time, finding resources that are good, sending them over to us, taking the time to vet them, taking the time to make sure that these are reputable places that are going to be okay and that are safe for people to donate to, and sharing them with our team, sharing this live stream, doing some research of your own, speaking to your kids about this stuff, speaking to your communities about this, sending people over to the funds. Or to the fundraiser. I'm so happy to match up to $1 million. We can make a big change. We can make a big impact. from a place of love, of respect, of coming together as a world in unity. And for those who donate over 111, there's going to be this incredible event with the people who've donated over 5 figures. And they are extraordinary. If you want to know who they are already, you can go to my Melanie Ann Layer Instagram and just go look at the Unity highlight. You'll see the women who've donated 5 figures. We also have women who've donated 4 figures. It's been incredible what's come together so far. Susie is actually one of them who donated 5 figures, and she said, this is the beginning. Together we can do things differently. It really does feel like the beginning, which is so disappointing that this feels like the beginning because of everything the world has gone through. Historically, this should not be the beginning. It should be the end. But the fact is, it really does feel like the beginning. So let's not drop this. Let's walk with this. Let's hold this, even though it's not comfortable. Let's hold this, because if we hold this and we don't just sweep it under the rug, we may actually see change while we're alive to see it. And that would be the greatest accomplishment of our lives, is to see the world change while we're alive to see it. So I want to empower you to believe in your own power and to believe in your own mattering. Like you can make a difference, whatever it is that you choose to do, through your heart, your time, your contribution, your sharing, your resources, anything that you have for the world, you can make a difference. And it does do more when we all come together. The more everyone comes together, the faster and the easier it is to create change on the planet. And fear does paralyze. And a lot of times we don't know what to do and we don't know where to go and we're afraid to make mistakes. But at the same time, if we do nothing, that also says something, you know? So let's come together, even if it's just in prayer, even if it's just in sharing, even if it's just come be in the conversation of a world that for the first time, it seems, is talking about what matters. I feel like there's such a beautiful opportunity with the internet to stand for what we believe in and to speak about what matters and to be responsible for how we speak about it, because everything we do and everything we say is a permanent conversation on the internet. So being kind and compassionate, being strong and truthful, being honest and bold, being willing and brave, and sharing what matters to us is how we make it around. It's how the messages get to be spread. It's how the people get to be heard. It's how what's happening in the world gets to be seen. We're lucky enough that the internet exists and we can see people on the ground right now. People of Ukraine showing us what it looks like, people of color and Black people showing us what's happening, people being able to communicate to each other, even during a crisis like this, and being able to share what is happening for real. So can we listen? Because it's one thing to be able to watch it, it's another thing to respond to it. Can we watch it? Can we listen to it? Can we come in unity? So this live stream is so important because the energy and the desire of this live stream is to spread love. And I know that while you watch this, you may have a lot of anger in your body. You may have a lot of frustration. You may have a lot to say. I want to encourage you to keep this live stream clean and to really process whatever you've got so that you can make a difference in the way that you communicate. Hate creates more hate. There is a way to get your point across with maturity and power and strength and love, and it will go further. Your message will go further in love. It will go further to the strongest, most aligned people to help you in love. Even in anger. You can be angry. It's just not in hate. There is so much anger. My heart rate's through the roof. Like there is anger. There is so many feelings, but can it be anger and love instead of anger and hate towards something, instead of pushing against, standing for? Because we really do have a beautiful opportunity right now if we come together as a world. So I'm going to be putting another post on this page. If you're not connected to it, just Melanie Ann Layer Alpha Femme on Instagram or on Facebook, my business page, or Melanie Ann Layer on Instagram. This is where we're sharing all about this and keeping updates. I've already sent an email today. There's going to be more emails with more resources coming out. I'm going to be making a post on this for this new fund. Stay connected. Stay in touch. Please share. Things done from a place of love are done differently. Together, we can do more things. Together, we can do big things. Every single thing matters, all of it, because the more we come together, the more we amplify. This is unity for the people, for the world. And so it's important to share all the things that are arising from this, because it does have side effects and ripple effects, and those matter also. So thank you for being here for this conversation with me. Thank you for holding the power. Thank you for holding your energy. Thank you for being respectful on this live stream. I really appreciate. Let's keep it clean. Thank you. And I'll continue to communicate about this through email, on this page, and on my Instagram. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you soon.